Hi, I am Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. I want to invite you to watch my upcoming adventures on Deadites on Deck on YouTube.
Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, the cutest rockin' squirrel in the universe. He wears his hair long, he plays a mean guitar. After midnight he performs on a tree branch stage. He is brave, he is outrageous, he is Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. He will steal your heart and eat all your pecans. He loves cuddling in his fleece when bedtime comes calling. Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, the cutest rockin' squirrel in the universe.
Watching movies with a dead chick and the gang, funny, strange, hysterical, or just plain bang bad. This weekend just got amazing. It's a watch-along weekend. Horror and sci-fi, comedy and more. We got it all this weekend. This weekend just got amazing. It's a watch-along weekend. Horror and sci-fi, comedy and more. We got it all this weekend.
Howdy, gang. Not sure how many of you guys and gals I'll have tonight for this watch along for Black Roses. Yes, it is another watch along weekend for this Saturday only. And we are going to be watching Black Roses here in just a little bit. I'm going to be watching it on YouTube along with those of you that maybe don't have a copy of your own. I do have a copy on DVD, but unfortunately, my Blu ray drive doesn't generally play the DVDs correctly. So I've got it brought up on YouTube. I've got a link in the chat for those of you that don't own your own copy so that you can watch along if you would like to. I am 2 seconds in. It's showing like a cityscape type of deal at night. And so I will give y'all plenty of time to get queued up if you want to watch along tonight. Now, that is not a requirement for the watch alongs, but if you want the full experience, there you go. You are welcome to. I got stuff all over my glasses again. You're welcome to just merely hang out and sit and listen to me talk about the movie, if you would like. So you can do that as well. For those of you that didn't get to join me and Steve a little bit earlier, we did a spooky selections for Halloween 2025 where Steve was actually live on the stream with me. And we talked about a few of the movies that we were going to be watching for the upcoming Halloween season. So if you want to check that out, if you haven't already, be sure to do so. I also had the advertisement announcing Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. It's actually going to be called Adventures of Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. These will be coming up soon. Hopefully a series of animated shorts starring Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel and an animated version of myself as well. So I've got an idea for the first short. I just haven't gotten it put together yet. So this will be something that your kids will be safe to watch, okay? I know this primarily being a horror channel, this is not really, there's not really a lot of stuff that you probably would want your kids watching. However, Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel will definitely be something that kids can safely watch, okay? So be sure to keep that in mind as soon as I have those up. I do have one animated short up for Spooky Dog and Sebastian, where they meet Ozzy Osbourne. If you haven't checked out that little animated short, be sure to do so. That is also safe for kids to watch. I hope to have some more of those coming up soon. We're also going to be having another Evil Dead Chicks Nighty Nightmares Slumber Party deal, only this is going to be called Evil Dead Chicks Hideous Halloween Slumber Party. I've got the promotional stuff put together, but I just haven't gotten it out on the site. This will take place October 17th, Friday, October 17th, starting. I may start this one at 6 because we're going to be having a triple threat that night. We're going to be watching Halloween 1 through 3. That's the original Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978. We'll be having Halloween 2 from 1981 and Halloween 3 starring Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin. So keep in mind that will be coming up. So we're going to have a full night of Halloween type movies to watch. If you want to get a Nighty Nightmare sleep shirt for you ladies, or if there's some guys that want to get one for their ladies, be sure to let me know. And again, I'm going to put the my PayPal email address, because guess what? I still don't have those Nighty Nightmare sleep shirts up on the Deadites on Deck horror shop at deaditesondeck.com. There are several things up there that you can check out by going there. But if you want one of these Nighty Nightmare sleep shirts right now they come in one color, which is pink with heather gray sleeves. And you can get a variety of designs. I'm going to try to make myself a new one for this one. I had the Driller Killer one for the original Evil Dead Chicks Nighty Nightmare Slumber Party Massacre that we had a few weeks ago. And I want to do the Michael Myers one for the upcoming one, which looks like this. So I have that design. Michael came to my slumber party. But we also have some other designs as well. So we have Jason came to my slumber party. And we also have Freddy came to my slumber party. Hey, Gory Tiger. And we have, like I said, we have the Driller Killer came to my slumber party. From, of course, you guessed it, Slumber Party Massacre. And there is a special edition that I'm planning on keeping around with Ozzy Osbourne on it. And Ozzy's in his black pajamas there with some of-age girls or ladies surrounding him. And he's holding a pillow that says, Ozzy came to my slumber party. And you can get any of these designs for $30 plus $6 shipping. And that doesn't matter if you get 1 sleep shirt, 2 sleep shirts, 5 sleep shirts, 10 or 15 or 100. It's still $6 shipping. That's a flat rate of shipping. So right now, since there's only one color of sleep shirt, the pink with the heather gray sleeves, just let me know. Just send $30 plus $6 shipping to evil.dead.chick1976@gmail.com. That is my PayPal email address. And tell me what size you need and your name and your mailing address, and I'll get one of those shipped out to you. Okay. Something else that we have, or I have available, but they're not yet up on the Deadites on Deck horror shop at deaditesondeck.com. But there are a couple of designs for Spooky Dog and Sebastian Meat. Oops, it's not the right one. I hope to have some other designs for these coming up here soon. But I have a Spooky Dog meets Ozzy Osbourne available now. And Spooky Dog meets Robert Englund. And those are $20 a piece plus $6 shipping. Again, that's a flat rate of shipping, whether you get 1 shirt, 5 shirts, 10 shirts, 15 shirts, or 100 shirts. It's still $6 shipping. Now, where else can you get a deal like that, folks? I don't know too many places that you can. For these, you need to send $20 plus $6 shipping to the PayPal email address evil.dead.chick1976@gmail.com, and just tell me the size that you need. And also, I can do all colors, even black. I have a process in place, so let me know what color, what size. Send your name, your mailing address, and $20 plus $6 shipping, and I'll get that taken care of and get that shipped out to you ASAP. For those of you that aren't into horror, or maybe you like horror, but you don't see a particular design that I have already done that you like, please, there is a handy dandy form on the homepage of the site at deaditesondeck.com. And there's a handy dandy form there. Fill that out. Let me know what it is you so desire. I even do custom work. I can do custom logos for if you have a new business you've started, a side business you've started, you want hats and t-shirts or what have you with a logo on it. Let me know what kind of logo you would like, and I'll see what I can put together for you, okay? I would love to work on some custom work for you guys and gals, so just let me know. And if you do a bulk order, if you like the logo I create and you say, hey, I want 25 t-shirts and 10 hats or something like that. If you buy them in bulk, I will give you a discount. Okay. So just keep that in mind. What else I got coming up? I don't know that I'll have anything else coming up this weekend in the way of programming for the channel. But Monday we start, it is, of course, Labor Day, but I'll probably still be doing a celluloid trash as I do every Monday. Tuesday, I'm not really sure what I'll be doing. Wednesday, of course, it's not cannon fodder day anymore because I have ceased doing the cannon fodders because I think cannon fodder ran out of steam. So, Thursday we'll have another They're All Messed Up, and Friday I really am not sure about a Friday Foolish. Me and Candace are still, I haven't heard from her at all today. She's probably busy with family stuff, and you got to take care of the fam, folks. So that's probably why I haven't heard from her. So stay tuned. And even though this may seem silly, I still want to keep the Friday Foolish name, but we may be switching days to better accommodate, both me and Candace to be able to still do a show, but it won't conflict with work, which, work and family comes first. I've said that over and over and over again. And so we still want to do the fun stuff. It might just be a matter of shifting things around. Okay. Now, the first Friday of September, of course, will be another Evil Dead Chicks Slasher Fest, which will happen September 5th, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be watching Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave, the originals, folks. There will be a disclaimer. Discretion is advised watching this. Don't have your kids around, folks. I'm not even kidding about it. I'm not even attempting to kid about this. So fair warning. I expect not to receive any complaints. That if you watch these movies are rough, folks. These are not just regular run-of-the-mill like horror film stuff. These are assault and revenge films, and they don't play nice. So, everybody is welcome to come, of age people. I hope we don't have any kids in here, because these movies are definitely not for children. Okay. I don't, the last time I even attempted to talk about movies like this, talk about them, not we were watching them together, I got slammed for it. So, like I said, fair warning, this is part of Evil Dead Chicks Slasher Fest. However, viewer discretion is advised. And I really, really hope that you guys take heed of these multiple warnings I've given you. Okay? All right. So now that we got that out of the way, we also have the Hideous Halloween Evil Dead Chicks Slumber Party coming up on October 17th. Like I said, that's probably going to start about 6 p.m. Eastern Time, because we're going to be having not 2, 3 movies that night. So it's a triple threat that night. So got a lot of good stuff coming up. Hopefully I can get my lazy keister in gear and get this stuff out there to you folks, and get some stuff up on the shop side and all that good stuff. And so, once again, I've got mine queued up on YouTube. The link is in the chat for you folks. If there's anybody that wants to join me live on the stream, now I notice I say click here for a chance to join me live on the stream, because keep in mind, folks, if I don't know who you are, don't know anything about you, I'm naturally going to be a little hesitant to add you. But that doesn't mean that you can't, talk to me in advance and I get a good feel for what kind of person you are. Okay. Also, folks, do not allow your children, please, I mark most of these videos and streams as not for children. Please, for the love of all that is holy, do not allow your children to come on here and just peruse YouTube. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or tell people what to do. But if you are under the age of 18, 17, 18, I'm going to say, but primarily under the age of 18, I would rather you wait until you're older before you come on these streams with me. Okay? Because I cannot be responsible for what people might say. But, we might use curse words and stuff like that. Okay? Also, if you are underage, I'm just going to flat out say, if you're under the age of 17, I can't keep you out of here per se, but I would strongly suggest you do me a favor and don't try to come on the streams. Okay. Don't come backstage and stuff, folks, because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to have underage, kids on here and somebody say something, like use the F word or something like that, and then all hell breaks loose. Okay. I don't want that. So if you are under the age of 17, please do not attempt to come in live on these streams. Don't come backstage, okay? If I even suspect that you're underage, I won't add you, okay? That's just as upfront as I can get. If you are a parent of an underage child, please keep an eye on your children and make sure that they're not perusing adult-oriented, and by that, I don't mean porn. I just mean that there might be some content that's discussed, some certain words that are used that would not be appropriate for underage children. Okay? So just beware of all those things. Hey, X-Ray. You say, damn, Dana, what are you discussing in these streams nowadays? Well, not anything super bad, but, with the way the world is now, X-Ray, I just don't want to take any chances, okay? And I don't think that this is a place for underage children to be coming live on a stream. There are adults in here, and people generally, when they think they're in the company of other adults, they don't watch their language and stuff like that. So I just want to keep things safe and above board for everybody. F word, please. Yeah, there's a few more F words out there. Oh goodness, I gotta love X-Ray. He adds some spice to my life when he's in here. So, I'll give everybody about a minute or two to get queued up if you're going to be watching Black Roses along with me tonight. I'm 2 seconds in on the movie. I'm going to be watching on YouTube tonight as well, folks. You may see me glancing over to my right. It might be the left on y'all looking at it. But if you see me glancing over to the right or left, it's because I'm looking at the screen. It's not like I haven't seen Black Roses before. But I like to look at what I'm going to be seeing. Okay. All right. So again, I do have a link for you guys and gals who want to join me live for this commentary, this watch along. There's also a link for the YouTube link for Black Roses in case you don't own a copy of your own and you want to be watching along. All right. So it is now 10:23. So let's get this party started, folks. So let's do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Press play. And we are off and running. I'm seeing a car going by on the road. Several cars, seeing people walking around. And just letting you know, folks, I may, because right now I'm on here on my own. So I may just have to leave y'all to watch the movie. And then I may have to go get me something to eat or, run to the restroom or whatever. But we're having, we're seeing what appears to be either people in mass or they've actually turned into demons. I think it's supposed to be that they've turned demonic. The band has turned demonic, Black Roses band. Apparently coming soon to a venue near you. Apparently. I actually like the masks and the makeup for this movie as well. And I do realize there could be other channels that are doing stuff late tonight, and that's okay. I had planned to have this one start earlier, But I wasn't feeling too hot a little bit earlier today. And so I didn't get started on getting things together until late. And Steve and I did do a spooky selections for the Halloween 2025 season. Yes, Steve was actually on here on the live stream with me. So apparently, all the kids have turned into demons too. And now we're seeing Shapiro Glickenhaus Entertainment Corporation presents a Ray Van production of, and this was directed by John Fasano. I like the animation on here too, as the car pulls up, and then you have the title Black Roses. So evidently the band is coming into another small town. And Carla Ferrigno, I believe that's Lou Ferrigno's wife, is on this as well. E.K. Miller. I know that name from somewhere. Carmen Apice, or I may be mispronouncing his name, but he's on here. Sal Viviano plays Damien, the lead singer of the Black Roses. We're getting introduced to the kids in this town. And we're seeing, there were a lot of movies during this time where rock music was seen to be devilish in some circles, or in a lot of circles. You know, parents thought it was the devil's music, right? Rock music, including heavy metal, etc., etc. We're also going to see an alumni of My Bloody Valentine in this movie. The guy that played TJ is going to show up as a sleazy stepfather. It's not one of my favorite roles for him, but he is in this. And the guy who played, and there's TJ there. I just lost my whole train of thought. Oh, the guy that played Big Pussy on The Sopranos plays one of the kids' dads on this movie. Should they really be stapling that to a tree? Oh well, I don't guess these people care. And this film came out in 1988. It was probably filmed in 1987 because these posters say April 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, 1987. Here's the straight-laced English teacher. Talking about Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass there. But he's also the cool teacher, right? He lets you get in a circle, you know, pull your desk into a circle, and they all discuss things like the big boys and girls that they are. He tries to treat them like adults. So this sort of reminds me of Trick or Treat from 1986, which was a couple of years before this one. So we had a whole slew of these rock horror movies where rock music was seen to be the devil incarnate, and the kids all want a particular musician or band to play in their town. That was true of this one. It was true of Trick or Treat. They banned Sammy Kerr. Sammy Kerr went to the high school where they were having a Halloween dance party, and they wouldn't, the PTA or whatever wouldn't let them or let him play. Hey, TJ, you say hi, Dana, an extreme profile. Yeah, I might be. If you're talking about me, like being from the side view, yeah, because I have the movie playing on my tablet over here, and I have to look at it it's not like I haven't seen this movie more than once, but and I don't know how those of you that are in here feel about Black Roses, but I think it's a pretty decent film. It was actually part of the films that were listed in the Awful Awesome books that I'm using for Celluloid Trash, which I don't know that I agree that this, specifically fits in with those types of films, but to each his own or her own. Trying to think, I may have already talked about Black Roses. I got all my paperwork mixed up here, I think, because I was looking for something else. And I think I did. Well, maybe not. Here it is. Yeah, I already talked about Black Roses. That was like the second episode of Celluloid Trash. But like I said, I don't really agree that is, an awful awesome or necessarily a Celluloid Trash. But TJ, you said people just use titles like that for clickbait. Most don't know a good movie from a bad movie. Yeah, you are right about that, TJ. But I hope people don't think I'm using the Celluloid Trash thing as clickbait. I just thought that was a nifty little title. And a lot of the stuff I talk about on Celluloid Trash, they are bad movies. But a lot of them are also entertaining as well. So now you have, the parents, the teachers, the big people in town talking about how bad and how evil Black Roses is. I mean, I don't know how many people this happened to growing up, but in my little bitty hometown, I never really heard much about rock music or anything like that. But we had to stop calling our parties at school Halloween parties around Halloween time. They had to start calling them fall festivals. And then the trick or treating trickled down to nothing about the time in the years preceding me leaving home and moving to Louisville and getting married. The trick or treating got almost non existent because the powers that be said, it's too dangerous to send our kids trick or treating house to house. Let's have trail of treats and let's have trunk or treats at the churches. And you guys and gals have heard me talk about this ad nauseum about, you know, how I feel about that. So this guy is kind of speaking some sense, even though we know that the Black Roses band in this movie there is something bad about them. But this guy's saying, you know, what about Elvis? You know, rock and roll's about rebellion. What about Elvis? What about the Beatles? Uh, you know, people got upset when they, you know, came on the scene. And this is the mayor saying this. And of course, this reminds me of the scene in Jaws where they say, "Are you going to close the beaches?" Well, they're asking the mayor, Mayor Farnsworth, are you going to stop these concerts or aren't you? Hey, Blissful. Which very much, I think, rock music or anything our parents don't like that we like is rebellion. And this is going to continue until the end of time, I would imagine. Stuff that we liked, you know, stuff that our parents liked. There's going to be stuff that comes along after that that we're going to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. The stuff that I liked, that maybe it was heavy metal music, maybe it was comic books, maybe it was, you know, some naughty book that had been banned somewhere, you know. As we get older and our kids come along and our grandkids come along, we're going to see stuff that is we think is wildly more violent or risque or whatever than anything when we were growing up. It's just going to keep happening over and over again. So, you know, Elvis was seen as, you know, maybe a threat. The Beatles were seen as a threat. Comic books were seen as a threat at one time. And every generation has something that the adults see as a threat. So I suspect that that's going to continue. You are right, TJ. One of the teachers in this is Julie Adams from Creature from the Black Lagoon. You are exactly right. So these kids are feeling frustrated. You know, the guy here is saying, you know, every time there's something I really want, it gets taken away from me. And so he just wants to do something wild. This Johnny, he wants to do something wild. So he's going to paint the town red, folks. He's going to be rebellious. He's got his red paint. So their cool teacher shows up and they run away. But there is an open can of red paint. Oh, that was weird. Flame coming up out of that paint can. I've never seen a teacher keep pens and pencils in a mixed nuts can. So so the English teachers want to have a forum where they gather their desks around in a circle. And I think he's got a pretty good idea who was going to paint the town red. So he's now making this point, about taking the law into your own hands. And you'll also notice a theme throughout this movie that a lot of these kids are from homes that are broken, where one of the parents has left, their step parents involved, etc., etc. So the kids are getting their first taste of a Black Roses concert. And a lot of the adults in town are there too, because, yeah, they want to see what is it about this Black Roses that has got our kids under their spell. So we see the band come out. And, they look fairly normal here, just like your regular run of the mill rock band. And Damien throws a black rose out into the audience. Okay, so they start out, with a ballad, basically. But the character of Damien, you will see him break the fourth wall a lot in this movie. Um, and, if you're watching along, you will definitely see these little wink, wink, we're not what we seem type of people. So the mayor says, I've seen enough. I don't expect any trouble. So all the adults are gonna leave. So we're gonna see a major shift when the teachers and all the big wigs in town leave. And this is not lost on Damien. We see that Mr. Morehouse gives one last look. And the door's shut. And the mood changes radically. Now they're in like black leather, and this is a real rock and roll, folks. Okay, folks. I hate to, but I'm gonna take a quick restroom break, and then I will be right back. But y'all continue to watch the film if you're watching along, and I will be back as soon as I can. Okay, gang, I'm going to have to go back away here in a little bit because I'm heating up some soup and I don't want to boil over. But I did want to come back on here because this is going to be one of those examples where the character of Damien breaks the fourth wall again. So he's reassuring Mr. Morehouse that, they're nice, clean cut guys. There's nothing bad going on here. Okay, so Mr. Morehouse is going to leave and Julie's coming in, and Julie and the other kids are starting to become affected. And there's that knowing smile from Damien there. That, yeah, we don't have to worry about this guy. And there is the guy playing this kid's dad is Big Pussy from The Sopranos. If y'all didn't already see that or didn't already know that. There's going to be something very bizarre that happens with this speaker here shortly that's connected to the record player. Um, but I will be right back, folks. All right, gang, I'm back. And we just saw one of the kids' dads getting eaten by a creature that came out of the speaker, which, I may have said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I know I'm old school about this stuff, but I love practical effects. You know, I understand that digital effects have their place in the world of horror, especially now, but I just love, love, love practical effects. And it probably has to do with the generation I grew up in. But I love the creatures that are in here. Um, I love the creatures and the special effects that are done in uh, films like Trick or Treat, which I think Trick or Treat is very similar to this movie. So now everybody's wearing like Black Roses shirts, and they're chanting for Damien. And oh my goodness, well, the band is got a pentagram and some candles, and yeah. Which I just wanted to tell everybody, I will be planning on having a Savage Debate uh, episode coming up soon, talking about the best rock horror film. And I'm going to have several different choices up there, and I'm going to tell y'all my favorites or my favorite, and you might be surprised. So stay on the lookout for a Savage Debate coming up on rock horror films. Oh, well, thank you, Blissful. I appreciate that. Hopefully y'all won't mind me eating my soup, as usually I eat something during these streams. Now, I meant to have my snack, my evening snack earlier, and didn't get around to it. So the lyrics to the songs are becoming quite sinister now, and now we're seeing that some of the kids are getting, dead, or, we're going to see that kids are affected other ways. They're basically becoming possessed by this band, and they're becoming instruments to do evil things. You're making soup tomorrow, Bliss. Well, I've got some stuff to make some vegetable soup, but this is not homemade soup here. This is home style chicken noodle from Campbell's. But the lyrics, are becoming sinister about taking the town and stuff like that. So that's yummy. Yeah, pretty much all soups are yummy to me. So Mr. Morehouse sees that his house has his car has been vandalized, and somebody has put a Black Roses poster on there. And it appears that Johnny and his buddy did that. You feel the same, Blissful? So you see, so Mr. Morehouse is seeing all the kids standing on the street, on the sidewalks and stuff, and they're not his kids anymore. They're not his students anymore. There's something else that's taken over, and he's seeing a lot of violence taking place. Liz, will you say, oddly enough, I don't listen to rock music much. It's jazz and country. Yeah, and a lot of times and I don't mean this offensively towards Blissful or anybody else. A lot of times as we age, our taste in music will change, you know. And for some people, it won't. But there's nothing wrong with your taste in music changing. Absolutely none. And there's Carla Ferrigno playing Mr. Morehouse's girlfriend, Priscilla, who is also the Mayor Farnsworth's daughter. Um, but I don't like the Priscilla character. She's a little bit of a prima donna and pretty much a bitch, really. She always says, "Your little students," and she doesn't like his students at all. I guess he told her, didn't he? And I just now noticed there's a slumber party massacre poster on his wall. I don't think I noticed that before. And there's a Dawn of the Dead poster as well. So Johnny is being visited by, um, I'm guessing it's somebody from the Black Roses band, one of the women. And after this, really, it's going to be the point of no return after she seduces Johnny. But this little kid is throwing all his action figures into the fire. So the kid's referring to like Superman and Batman as the bad guys, and those are the ones that he threw in the fire. So it's almost like the black roses are affecting not only the teenagers but the younger kids as well. Um, Now, to these girls are going to seduce Mr. Miller, and it's going to end badly for Mr. Miller here. Well, actually, his daughter's not going to, but one of the girls is going to seduce him, and bad things will happen. Oh, she should not be standing in the back of his car. So Mr. Miller is playing cards with his daughter's friend. So his daughter's going to go to bed, and that's going to leave him alone with her friend. So she wants to play strip gin, folks, instead of strip poker. So Johnny, after being seduced by this chick, he's getting a gun. And I think this actor here playing Johnny does an absolutely fantastic job of, that dead eye look that, he doesn't, he's not Johnny anymore. He's being controlled just like um, a puppet on a string. So this is very eerie, this scene here. His dad's just saying, "Couldn't sleep, son? How was the concert tonight?" And then he's like, "What's the matter, son?" And the only thing that his dad did was just not being present there for him. His dad really wasn't a bad guy. But now his son has shot and killed him. So she calls that poor man, poor Mr. Miller, to have a heart attack. And again, the kids in the class are not Mr. Morehouse's kids anymore. Yo, she's 18, TJ. Yeah. So the kids say they're tired of living in the past. They're tired of hearing about all these dead writers. They want to hear about Damien, the lead singer of the Black Roses. And Mr. Morehouse has totally lost control of his students now. That's right, DJ. You said so people not going to their jobs because they're dead and nobody's checking in on that. LOL, horror movie logic. Exactly. So again, folks, this is just to give you a little heads up, especially if you're coming in here a little bit later, um, that this is not a long movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's just about an hour and 23 minutes. We are almost an hour in, which means we're about reaching the last quarter of the movie. And as usual, I probably won't stay on very long after the film is over unless there's people that stick around and want to talk, in which case I will stick around for a while. So the principal, I can't remember if he's the principal or the guidance counselor or what, but he is asking Janie about her feelings. Um, and how she feels about her father's death. And oh my goodness, now there he went out the window. And she briefly changed into a demon before pushing him out the window. Mr. Morehouse is looking into stuff on black magic and witchcraft and stuff like that, trying to figure all this out. TJ, you said he could have survived that fall. So Julie has changed too, and not for the better. And Johnny's hanging around too. But she seems to be trying to seduce Mr. Morehouse. Yeah, I mean, realistically, TJ, you're correct in saying that. Wendy Baines do several shows at the same venue in the same town, and I think they were like this wasn't like a one night gig or even a 2 night gig. I think this was like 4 nights. More of that horror movie logic, I suppose. I know one thing, those hands ain't very feminine. Sorry. Oh. Now, Julie is going to come on to her stepfather here. But he's too stupid or drunk or something to figure this one out. Shouldn't have fell for that, buddy. Hey, Shelby. Yeah, you're right, TJ. Yeah, he just got killed off by a creature that came out of the speaker. So Mrs. Sullivan came home, found her husband dead, Julie's stepdad, and she doesn't know where Julie is. I'm sorry to say this, folks, but Lou Ferrigno's wife, Carla, is not a good actress by any stretch of the imagination. And she is not one of the reasons why I like this movie. Uh oh. You're one of Matt's little students. Shouldn't have said that. And talks about her and says she's a teacher's pet. Ooh. So she gets her throat slit for her trouble. Well, now we've got about 17 minutes left in the film. Like I said a little bit earlier, this film is not really that long of a film. Uh, just a little, I hate to call all these movies little time wasters, but I mean, on a Sunday afternoon or something like that, if you don't, have a lot of time to devote to a movie and you don't really want to be thinking real heavily about it, these types of movies are the kind that you should watch. If you're just looking for a little horror movie to watch to pass away an hour and a half or maybe a little bit less, I mean, these work very well for that. TJ, you say all those kids end up in jail after this movie, or were the evil rock music get them off the hook? Well, we don't really find that out. I don't believe, if I'm thinking correctly. But that was mostly the case with a lot of movies like this. It's kind of left open ended. It seems like Julie is when a little Olivia Newton-John at the end of Grease, only like a evil version of Sandy from Grease. But the hair and the leather and all that stuff. So I get the feeling that this is not this actress's body um, when it's showing full on breast, because they never, if I'm remembering correctly, and in the scenes preceding this, when it showed her body, supposedly it wasn't showing her face at the same time. Now that could have been a little side boob there. Um, so he had to, slap Julie away basically, and then he feels bad about it. Uh-oh. She's got those big demon teeth in. I mean, there are a few like cheap effects like this with the hand with the lights going around it. Excuse me. I guess those would be what we call cheesy effects, but most of the effects in this I really, really like. Excuse me, folks. Feels like something out of Evil Dead 2 now. Thank you, Blissful. Notice the long neck there and stuff like that. And you will notice that in Evil Dead 2, which was probably filmed about the same time as this movie, we see the Henrietta demon have that long neck, just like this creature here. I may sneeze again, folks. I would just got a tickly in my nose. Well, yeah, TJ, I didn't think about that. You say Chud did the long neck monster first. Let's see how cheap the gas is here. So cheap you could fill up that big tank. It looked like it was pretty cheap there. A lot cheaper than it is now, folks. So apparently, Matt here, Mr. Morehouse, has some gasoline and some dynamite. I don't know. This Damien character, I don't know. He's okay looking, but he doesn't really do it for me. I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder. I don't think they actually do, TJ. Good point. That the I don't think gas stations and any gas stations that I know of don't sell dynamite. Yeah, these kids are gone. Was that Julie there? Didn't Julie just turn into that long necked demon creature? Yeah, more of that horror movie logic, folks. Matt, buddy, you should have made yourself a little bit more inconspicuous. You wasn't even trying to hide. Okay, that's weird. Now he looks like he's part of the Manson family because he pulled his wig off and he's bald. That's always a bizarre scene there. Now he's changing. Okay, now he really changed here. I mean, granted, a lot of this stuff looks like Halloween masks, but it's still pretty cool. We're getting down to the final few minutes, folks. It's where it's gonna, pull out all the stops. Leslie, you say like Bret Michaels when he takes his hat off. Yeah, that might be the case for many rock stars nowadays. So I find it kind of strange that Julie is kind of coming out of her uh, haze a little bit, but it seems like the other kids are. Where's that dynamite? Aren't coming out of theirs. Yeah, DJ Damien did definitely get shorter as a monster. And now it seems that the kids have all come out of their spell. And those creatures that can still play instruments are still attempting to play, regardless of things going up in flames around them. So Johnny doesn't even remember what happened to his father. I mean, he was completely taken over. And they're still playing. Only Damien, the Damien creatures, is sitting there going, but Black Roses are still on tour. They're still, they came to New York on a 5-day concert swing before they go to Britain. So the Black Roses live on, folks. So that concludes Black Roses from 1988. I will stay with you guys and gals that are still hanging around till the end of the credits. And then if nobody has any questions or anything like that, of course, I will be getting off of here for good for tonight. Be sure to check out Steve and I's live stream that we did a little bit earlier, around 6 p.m. today, on our spooky selections for the Halloween 2025 season, folks. If you haven't checked that out, or you didn't hang out with us live, please check that out. And as the credits are going, if anybody has any questions they want to ask me, or any suggestions for upcoming programming that I could do that you would enjoy, I will take all of those into consideration. Please be on the lookout for some episodes of Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. Again, those will be safe for your kids to watch. Also, hopefully, we'll have some new episodes of Spooky Dog and Sebastian meet different people. Hopefully, I'll have a Robert England one up soon. I have an idea for Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel and his many adventures. So be on the lookout for all of those things. If you would like to buy a Nighty Nightmare sleep shirt or a Spooky Dog and Sebastian meet either Ozzy Osbourne or Robert England, I hope to have some more designs for those. The t-shirts are $20 plus $6 shipping and handling, or shipping. Oh, keep saying handling. I'm thinking back to the old days. And that's a flat rate of $6 shipping, whether you buy one shirt, 10 shirts, 15 shirts, whatever. It's still $6 shipping, folks. All you need to do is send the $20 plus $6 shipping to my PayPal email address. Again, I will put that in the chat for you guys and gals. Because I don't yet have some of this stuff up on the site. Am I going to Scarefest, TJ? That's still up in the air. I don't know. Because I was planning on going with Candace and Chris, but I don't know for sure if both of them are going. I had heard from Chris, and I figure he would be the one to tell people that Candace was not going. Because she had heard, and I haven't gotten confirmation from her, but if her husband says she's not going, I figure she's not going. Because if those of you that haven't heard, the Warren Museum is traveling around the country to different places. And apparently the guy that was carrying the actual Annabelle doll was killed in a car accident. I think that sealed the deal for Candace, as far as I know right now, that she doesn't want to be anywhere in the vicinity of those items from the Warren Museum. Okay. So, I can't blame her. I would be a little unsettled as well. By, certain things. I'm trying to get that to stop, folks. So I don't know. Steve is apparently not going to go to Scarefest anymore after the debacle that happened last year when we went. It was just, we about never found any place to eat. We were starving to death. Me being diabetic makes that, a surefire thing that I need to get something to eat at a certain time. So there were a lot of messed up things, and it's not really the Scarefest people, the promoters, it's the venue itself that is screwed up. Was it their son-in-law, Blissful? That I thought it was just some guy that worked for them. I didn't know it was their son-in-law, which that makes it even worse. But all I know, it was a guy that was taking the stuff around, and he had the Annabelle doll in his car, and he was unfortunately killed in a car accident. But anyway, so I guess the short answer is I don't know, TJ, right now. You didn't hear about it? That's heartbreaking. It is, and very unsettling as well. And I would respect Candace's decision not to go. But TJ, you say he died of natural causes. Well, I guess that depends on what you believe. Apparently, some people believe that it had something to do with the doll. And I can't tell them, not to believe or whatever. Um, but but TJ, did he die in a car accident while he was transporting the doll somewhere? I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong saying he died of natural causes, because under normal circumstances, when somebody dies in a car accident, it's natural causes, but it's because of the car accident. Well, I disagree with that statement, TJ, that the Warrens were flim flamers. But that's my personal belief, and you have your personal belief. Steve doesn't believe in the Warrens either. But it's to each his own or her own. I just have, a lot of people don't believe in cursed objects or haunted houses or haunted anything, or they don't believe in ghosts. They don't believe in, demonic stuff, and that's their choice. However, I have a belief in certain things, and I'll respect y'all's beliefs, and you can respect mine or not. But you are entirely entitled to your opinion, TJ. You are, just as anybody else is. Was it Dan Rivera? You say he died in a hotel room? Okay, well, maybe I had the car accident. But was the doll in the room with him, and maybe he died of a heart attack or whatever? TJ, because sometimes I don't get the whole thing. So, in any event, I guess he died and that doll was in the vicinity. So some people think that he died because of the doll. I'm just a little fuzzy on the details. Apologies on that. But anyway, y'all feel free to keep discussing that. But if you want one of the Nighty Nightmares sleep shirts, or I was talking about the t-shirts. If you want one of the t-shirts that I've got, those are $20 plus $6 shipping, whether you buy 1 or 5 or whatever. And all you got to do is send that money to my PayPal email address and let me know what size you need, what color. I can do all colors, even black. Now I have a process in place for that. So, also, be sure to send your name and your mailing address so I can get that shirt out to you. And I have the Ozzy Osbourne one, Spooky Dog Meets Ozzy Osbourne, or Spooky Dog Meets Robert Englund. Those are the designs I have right now. Also, the Nighty Nightmares sleep shirts. Let's see. TJ, you say he was on tour with the doll, but it wasn't in his room at the time of death. Okay. Gotcha. I guess people just think, well, the doll had something to do with it. And I can't, tell people not to be fearful of that. And, Candace, and there's probably other people that are very fearful of objects that have that kind of history attached to them. I had heard from the Warrens, and what if you don't believe anything that the Warrens have said, then you won't believe this. But I watched a show many years ago, and they talked to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and it was around Halloween time. It was when I was still living with my parents. It's been many years ago, and the Warrens would let people come and see these objects they had taken from different haunted or cursed places. And they always kept the Annabelle doll, which is a Raggedy Ann doll, in a glass case. And they told people, don't knock on the glass. Don't try to open it up, take it out, or any of that stuff. But they would let people look at it. And apparently a guy laughed at the doll and then got on his motorcycle and left. And he got in a motorcycle accident, and I believe he died. I agree with that, Blissful. Haunted or not, dolls are creepy. They are creepy. TJ, you said people read headlines and don't read full articles all the time. They make up their own truth. And yes, you are entitled to that belief too, TJ. And I don't want to piss anybody off, but Candace is entitled to her fear too. And if she feels better not going and being in anywhere near this doll, I have to, I feel like as her friend, I should respect that decision. And TJ, I know you're not saying anything about Candace's decision, but I'm just saying I, as her friend, have to have an understanding of that. Because I wouldn't be a very good friend if I did. So, as sad as it would be not to be able to go to Scarefest and to hang out with Candace and Chris, I have to respect that decision. But also, yeah, TJ, I agree with you. You say better safe than sorry. I agree with Candace, but people only reading headlines is a known fact. Yeah, sometimes they read the surface stuff and don't read all the details. I do agree with that. I think, though, in Candace's case, I think she read everything there was to it and not just the headline. But to get back to this, y'all keep talking about that, but I also have the Nighty Nightmares sleep shirts right now. They come in one color, pink with heather gray sleeves. So if you ladies want to get one, or you guys want to get one for your girl or your lady, you can tell me what design that you want. And I've got the Driller Killer design, the Michael Myers design, Freddy Krueger design, Jason Voorhees design, and a special Ozzy Osbourne design. And they all say whoever it is, came to my slumber party. So those are $30 plus $6 shipping, whether you get 1, 5, or 10 or more than that. It's still a flat rate of $6 shipping. So for those, you would just send $36 to my PayPal email address. And since there's only one color right now, you just need to send the size that you need and your name and your mailing address, and I'll get that out to you as soon as I possibly can. But I want to thank TJ and Blissful and Shelby, and I don't want to miss anybody here, and X-Ray and Gory Tiger for all hanging out in the chat with me tonight, especially, Blissful and TJ. They've been keeping me company this evening as we navigated through the 1988 horror film Black Roses. Link my shop to my profile. Yeah, I probably should do that, TJ. I think at one time I did have it on there. But these things I was talking about, I have not yet put them up on the shop site, but I will try to remember to do that, TJ, so that people can, Steve always tells me people need a clickable link that they can, click on and go to your shop. So I will try to remember to do that. Thank you, TJ, for reminding me of that. I appreciate you guys and gals hanging out with me tonight. This was a fun watch along. I loved the discussion before, during, and after. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the night. But I'm off like a dirty shirt, as always. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get out of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Ooh, 46 degrees. I think it might be in the 60s or the 50s right now Ooh, but I'd love some 46-degree weather. Listen, I'm ready for Halloween too. I honestly am. And speaking of Halloween, folks, I will have on October 17th, starting probably around 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be having another Evil Dead Chicks. In this case, it's going to be Hideous Halloween Slumber Party. We're going to be watching Halloween 1, 2, and 3. And this is the original Halloween from 1978 and the original Halloween 2 from 1981, folks. And Halloween 3 with, you guessed it, Tom Atkins. So it's going to be a triple threat that night, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time, because we're going to be watching 3 movies that night. So get in your jammies and let's have a great time. And don't forget to get your 90 Nightmares sleep shirt, ladies, before then, and you can get the one with Michael Myers on it. We'll be all set up for a Halloween extravaganza on Friday, October 17th, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I got a whole heck of a lot of programming coming up, so stay tuned for that, folks. And there's a lot of good programming on there now, so check it out, see what you missed, or rewatch stuff that you enjoyed first time around. And y'all have a fantastic rest of, well, actually, it's into Sunday, folks, but I hope you had a fantastic rest of your Saturday night. It is now 12:01 Eastern time here, so it is now into Sunday morning. So get out there. If you listen to heavy metal music, blast some Aussie, folks, and live the Aussie way. And by that, I mean, don't live in the past. Don't be stuck in the past. Push forward into the present and the future. And don't ever give up on your dreams, folks. I love each and every one of you. And I'll see everybody next time.